So it's cold outside. It's fall, it's winter, it's early spring. You just want something to put in your belly that's like a nice warm comfort food. Shepherd's pie is what you're looking for.
That sounds good. I'll have that.
And I'm gonna show you how to make it today. I'm gonna show you how to take all the simplest ingredients, put it together, come out with this. You're gonna be happy. Let's get started. I'm Dave, and you're watching Dave's Taste Buds, and welcome back. Got another great episode for you today. Gonna be making shepherd's pie. I know you know that because you clicked on the thumbnail of how to make it, and I'm glad that you did. So, first thing, before we even get started, click that subscribe button. All right, subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. It helps me out. Do me a favor and subscribe. Thank you for that. So, I mean, shepherd's pie can be made 1,000 different ways. I'm gonna show you how I make it. I make it with, ground beef. You can obviously use, beef, veal, lamb. So, ground meat, vegetables. I got some mashed potatoes already done. That's in another episode, so go check that episode out.
Etc. Mashed potatoes!
We're gonna use that for the top. And to pull it all together, instead of a brown gravy or even a Guinness sauce, which I really, truly love too, but when it comes to my shepherd's pie, I like to use a nice demi-glace. I like it to have that really beefy, tomatoey, touch of wine kind of flavor. That's really what I want to go for. So I'm gonna pull all this together and let's get started right now. All right, we got our pan nice and hot because what we're gonna do, we're gonna brown this ground beef. If you overcrowd the pan, the beef tends to just boil instead of brown. So make sure you get a big enough pan to fit what you're doing. This is about 2 pounds. I'm gonna have the recipe below, so don't worry. This is 2 pounds in case I forget to say it while you're watching. All the information you need is down below. So this is 2 pounds of ground beef. Like I said, traditionally shepherd's pie, cottage pie. I'm not gonna tell you I'm an expert of the difference between the two. There is a difference, but I'm gonna show you how I make my shepherd's pie for my people. Get this browned off. Just make sure you get your beef really broken down. You don't want it to turn out to look like a pan full of little sliders, do you? You don't. All right. You don't need to sit there and watch me brown this. So I'm gonna get this browned up nice. I'm gonna get the fat drained off, and I'm gonna get it back in this pan, and then we're gonna go from there. So, transition. All right, our ground beef is cooked, drained, and set aside. We're just gonna put a little bit of cook on to these vegetables we have going in. So I'm gonna start with a couple pats of butter. Pan's actually gotten really hot, so it's gonna be a little smoky. Don't panic.
Hey, no, don't panic, don't panic.
Butter. This is, again, you can use 1,000 different things. I use corn, peas, carrots, that's it. And I'm taking the easy way out this time, and I'm just buying them all frozen. What I really want to do is cook these a little bit so they don't have to do their full cooking in the oven. We're going to get these cooked off. We're going to add our meat mixture back to this. We're going to add our demi-glace, which I've already showed you how to make.
Wait, what?
Now we're going to put together our demi-glace for the shepherd's pie. It's so delicious and it's not really that hard. To make demi-glace, can you start with, roasting veal bones and tomato paste and making a poire? Sorry. Can you spend a lot of time making a demi-glace from scratch? Roasting veal bones, roasting mirepoix, putting together bouquet garni. You don't want to have to do all that. It doesn't have to be that fancy and that complicated, especially if you throw it in a shepherd's pie. But it's delicious. So, I got all of our beef stock here. It's just simmering away. This is 2 ounces red wine and 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Get out of there. That's it. We're gonna give this a whisk. We're gonna whisk that together. Make sure it breaks down that tomato paste. You can already tell what it's gonna taste like just by the smell. Wish you could smell it. Now it's really just a matter of bringing it back up to a boil, let it simmer, and then we're going to slowly add our brown roux back into it. See that? This pan is so hot. Full disclosure, I probably should have used a bigger pan. handle's hot, it made the spoon hot, it's burning me right through the towel. But what are you gonna do? Kind of too much of a boil here. We're gonna bring that down, get that to a nice simmer, and we're gonna just wanna add this slowly. We don't wanna just dump this whole thing in. Just wanna make sure it gets incorporated nice. Because all we're really gonna do is thicken it up, and then we're just gonna let it reduce. I don't even think I'm gonna use all the roux. A little bit more. Can you make shepherd's pie mixture with other things? Of course you can. You can make it with the beef stock, you can make it with Guinness, you can make it with regular brown gravy, you can do all that. I fell in love with this, I swear, down in Disney World in Disney Springs. There's an Irish restaurant called the Raglan Road, I'm sure you've heard of it, and their shepherd pie there is the absolute bomb. So I've been trying to perfect that for years, and I really think that they use a Demi-Glace in their shepherd's pie. So over the years, this is the recipe that I have come up with to mimic that. So I'm gonna get this stuff cleaned up. I'm gonna move this over to my big stove because I'm gonna let this simmer, and it's gonna take a while. So I'm gonna let this simmer by almost half. It's gonna really create almost a thick, rich mixture that we're gonna put into our ground beef and vegetables, and then we're gonna layer our mashed potatoes on top. Boom. We're gonna be good to go.
And now we return you to our regular scheduled program.
Right into this, we're gonna put in a pan, we're gonna top it with our mashed potatoes, which I've already showed you in another episode how to make. A little butter on top, pop that in the oven. Sit tight while I cook these off for a second. Okay, so now for the fun part. We've got our vegetables cooked off, beef's cooked off, demi-glace is all set to go. So I'm just gonna hit this a little bit, it's like 2 tablespoons. Minced garlic. Turn our heat back on a tiny bit. Get that mixed in there. Beef goes right in. Fantastic. Oh, guys, I can tell you already, this is going to be epic. Just want to get that stirred in. Get them mixed together. There we go. Next in, demi-glace. Oh, baby, look at that. Thick, rich. Reach it under. Right in there. This is what pulls it all together. Oh, yeah. We can kill our heat at this point. Oh, the smell is so good.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
It. Guys, that's it. We don't need to let this simmer. We don't need to let this do anything. It is done. I'm gonna get this into my pan. I'm gonna not make you have to watch me suffer through trying to get this, 12-pound pan full of 8 pounds of stuff into another casserole dish. So I'm gonna kill the cameras. I'm gonna get this in there. I'm gonna show you how we're gonna layer our potatoes on top, pop that in the oven. So give me a second. Okay, guys, it's in the casserole dish. Potatoes ready to go on. I'm just gonna really just hit it real quick. Quick top of fresh ground pepper, a little bit of salt. That's it. Now, this could be the trickiest part of this whole thing, is getting the mashed potatoes on top of this relatively, at this point, still soupy mixture. But I'm gonna show you there's a little bit of a technique. It's what I've always done. You can put this into a pastry bag and pipe it in if you wanna do that. If you wanted to put this into separate containers, ramekins, some kind of little skillet, make it look cool, you could do that too. But I'm serving a bunch of people with this, so the trick is you're gonna get those potatoes as loose as you can get and just kind of lightly, don't just slam it right down on top. Slam it right down on top, you mistreat it, it's gonna go all over the place on you. So just gingerly kind of place it on top around it, and then the technique is just kind of just fanning it out a little bit. Whoops, see that? That was even a little aggressive. There we go. Top. Top. Kind of rush through this a little bit. Whoop. Top. Oh guys, I don't know. It's looking good. Again, these potatoes are in another episode. So easy to do. Stop using that instant powdered crap. Start making your own now that you know how. Just kind of, you know, lightly smooth it out. A little bit more over here, cover that up. Okay. Oh, whew, man, this has been an undertaking because, you know, if you've watched any of my other channels, you'll notice that behind me is relatively clean, where most of the time it's a mess. So, say it with me, clean as you go. You don't want to sit down to eat knowing you got a bunch of crap you still got to clean up. You don't want that. Last piece before it goes in the oven. Now the oven's at 400. Everything in here is cooked. We really just want to kind of bring it up to a little bit of a simmer almost in the actual liquid. We want to brown the top a little bit just to make it look nice. A few pats of butter on top. I'm going to pop this in the oven. I'm going to give it maybe 10-12 minutes. Then we're going to take it out and then we're going to taste it. Alright everybody, so the episode's done. Shepherd's pie is out of the oven. Brown the top. It's so delicious, and to be honest with you, I'm not even gonna taste it because it is boiling hot and I don't want it to cool down because it's going in the freezer, so I'm gonna wrap it up nice and tight, get it frozen, put away. But I can assure you, it's delicious and you should try it yourself. So, check out this video here. I got other videos here. Subscribe to the channel, like, and after you're done doing all of that, go cook something.